How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Who the Heck Are We episode. We've been gone for some time. We've been putting out some vlogs, but we've got another chat right here. Our guest, as you see, of course, our distinguished guest, more of like we're their guest in their house, actually, right here in Manila, Philippines. Finn McDaniel, of course. Welcome again to the podcast. Thanks for having me here at your lovely
Of
place
course,
for
always good to be
parents.
back with you, Clara.
Um, how many times have you guested? This is your third already.
I
Isn't
think
that right?
third. The second just by myself, but
Yeah,
third in total because I did one with Chandler and Olivia.
yeah. That was pretty fun actually, having you and all of your siblings.
Yeah, that was a while ago now I think about it.
Yeah, right. Even Declan got to join and make an appearance.
Yeah, cut some donuts out of that too.
Yep. What is memorable is he stole the wings of Chandler, I think.
Did I?
Oh, I remember. Okay, because that thing blew up on our page. So I think Olivia ate Chandler's wings.
Oh yeah.
Olivia ate your wings, and you
Yeah,
ate
yeah,
hers.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Think
yeah.
don't let Chandler see this. She's gonna get mad again. She holds it over me every time it's brought up.
Even until now,
Oh yeah.
I had a similar scenario with with our older brother, not Jago, who's our technical guy in the back right now. But yeah, how's it been as of late? Not just playing for Stallion in the recent seasons, you were also playing in the sevens, also serving as the general manager of the women's team, right? Of
Yep.
Stallion. We will
Yeah.
never forget that you were GM because Miss Maya, team manager, she's putting you're the boss. You're GM.
Yeah.
How's everything? Yeah.
So it's been good. For the men's season, obviously, ended pretty disappointing in my terms. I think as an individual, I think I didn't perform up to my standards compared to last season. But at the same time, you got to take your wins where you can to be this season the Filipino top goal scorer in the league, where I didn't have to battle Harvey this time, so it made it a lot easier. But to be able to be the Filipino that scored the most goals in the
Mhm.
PFL is always a privilege and an honor. So that goes for something. Again, great team, just fell short, and I think that's something we need to work on as a team. But again, it's a great team, and always Stallion has a great landscape. The sevens was like you said, Miss
Yeah.
Maya. She hounded me for months to get me to run it. So that was a different experience. A lot of fun because I do it in the U.S. Not as as highly renowned as doing it here, where it's a big thing. Just pick up in the U.S. But seven's a lot of fun. Obviously, we lost the final against my teammate on Stallion Kuya Shraki, but he's a seasoned player in sevens, and you got to throw an old dog and old bones sometimes.
No shame in losing to Stefan Schock at all.
No, never.
No shame, of course, given his credentials, playing overseas, or he has a lot of overseas experience. How about the GM aspect with the women's? Well, you summarized it very. You gave us a concise way or explanation of how it went with the men's, right? But how is this with the women's off the pitch role? But yeah, you're still active. You're standing in the technical area as the
Oh,
GM.
yeah. So I'm the GM for the team, but I mean, when the head honcho, Coach Clint, isn't here, then usually I'm the one to take the reins as the head coach stand-in. So very hands-on. It's definitely been a different experience from just being a player, just in terms of actually having to learn how to talk to the players as a coach and not just as a player. Because as a player, you're going to demand more on the field, and it's a different value than when a head coach or someone you're coaching is telling you something that you have to listen. So also a big learning step in my career, especially being a young coach. But to be able to last season win the cup for Stallion when they were going from nowhere to something big with such a good team, and players like Chandler and Olivia joining the team, and you got other girls that we are giving opportunities from in the US is always a privilege. And I think it's the same for this season. Definitely a different group of girls, but again, very respectful girls. Um, Younger group than last season, but again, they work very hard. They definitely are a fun group to be around, and a lot of special talents in there.
Because it is the women's league that's ongoing right
Yes.
now. So you guys have a target in your backs. Did you have to
Yeah.
change up the dynamic of the team because they say it's easy to be the hunter, but more difficult when people are hunting you down.
Yeah, of course. It's always a privilege to see the women's getting the recognition that Stallion truly deserve. I think the men's still are fighting for that spot to get the same recognition. But I think the women's have done a good job to show what we represent as a club. And when they step on the field, men and women, they remember that this badge always means something. And we fight as a family. So I think the girls have done that very well. Again, like you said, we have to adjust and adapt, and completely different team compared to last season. But again, they're coming along very well. And as we prep them for their Champions League campaign coming up, we'll go from there.
That's the target, Champions League, obviously,
Yeah,
because
of course, always.
It was Kaya's women's team made it last time. They represented
Yeah,
the country, so of course, you want to make it Stallion. It's Stallion representing the Philippines in the
yeah, of
Women's
course.
Champions League. Sounds good. Sounds perfect for you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, so based off of last cup, we actually got this season slot for the Women's Champions League. We had that confirmed actually after our last win against Kaya, so it was like a double sprinkling of awesome and excellence from us. But again, winning this is important for the club. But again, it's about giving these girls an opportunity to show themselves and on a bigger stage and grow the sport itself, because you can't grow the sport without getting the internationals and girls from different areas to help grow the league and see that there's more to just our set systems in the Philippines.
So it's confirmed from the winning the cup, right? You
Yes.
guys got a slot. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
We didn't know that, of course, during the course of the cup, right?
Yeah,
It,
none of us really knew. It was always hit or miss. We were hounding Miko, Sir Miko, back and forth to give us the answers,
mhm.
praying and hoping. But yeah, all the hard work and care paid off. So we're very happy.
It's a little bit expected because there's those tournaments, but
Yeah.
it's different when you get the
Oh
confirmation. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like when your seasons or the tournament PFL would start, we try to ask who gets the slots, who gets Champions League,
Yeah.
how do we get Shopee Cup? So like we only got to confirm last season, okay. It's like the stakes are even higher now. It's a bigger bone that's being hung
Yeah.
from there for all the teams to chase. But let's go. We spoke about you handling the women's team, but back with you as a player, of course. That's why we're mainly here for this conversation. Would you say this season or the last two PFL seasons were those failures because you guys didn't want to get, you guys could not get what you wanted?
Um, I'd say yes and no. I think obviously the goal as being a stallion player in my mind is to be a winner, to be successful. And I think there's individual and team efforts where we've won. And I think overall the goals haven't been completed, but it's a club that's heading in the right direction. I mean, when I first joined during the bubble, we ended in second to last. So we've always inclined and we've keep going up. This season again was probably not at all what we were hoping for. But last season, as an individual, I mean, it's on paper the best season I've had. And
Hmm.
to be able to go back to back and get double digits in goal scoring and, tally up to get 20 goals and assists in a season is, it's not common. So to be in that category with like Harvey last season and the Manila Digger boys this season, it meant something to me. So but again, I have a great team around me. Whether we ended high or not, there was talent all around me, and I'm more than blessed to be able to have these opportunities to play with these players.
Because at the end, you were saying there's still progress of sorts because now you can see at least you're the top Filipino goal scorer. But, and we can point out because I tracked the numbers, you're a consistent top three scorer in the league, right?
Yep.
2 seasons ago, last season, Stallion also, as of late, has been racking up, we could say, third place finishes. Do you hate the number three now?
Ah, I
Copa
hate it.
finishes also
I've
number
never
of
liked.
third places. Yeah.
I'm a sore loser. I hate losing. So my teammates know it for a fact. If we lose a game, we don't even get the win. We get a draw. They don't talk. You don't speak to me for the rest of the day. I want to win. I'm
Hmm.
very hungry. I'm very eager. So seeing other teams always lift the trophies and it's very hard for me. So getting that sense with the girls, it makes me feel very good that
Hmm.
I finally can help and be part of a stallion that can win a trophy. But I think again, the stallion team is more than capable of winning a trophy. You have all the tools. It's just execution at the end of the day. And it's the professionalism and realism that, it's more than just being an individual. You have to be a team and certain little things make differences.
When you say, were you saying like execution was lacking Was it a lack of chemistry that made it more difficult to execute things, or was it you guys just grasping that system Coach Clint and Coach Ernie were implementing, or
Mm,
teammates getting a feel for one another? What do you think?
I think it's definitely one the the teams this season were very good. There wasn't a game where there was no easy games. Even Mendiola is a hard team to break down. I've always thought this since I played in the league. They're for me, until you score a goal on them, they are one of the most difficult teams to break down.
Hmm.
So I think one is the teams, but two, I think it comes down to again the outside noise for this season. There was a lot of outside noise for the men's, and we let that outside noise come into our game and our practices, and it just ended up crumbling us in the long run. And I think again, it goes back to having that set professionalism that everyone needs to be on the same page. There can't be any stragglers because Coach Clint uses this one a lot. My dad, he says, there's a lot of players that are here, and we can't have players here because the players here will drop you down to this level.
Hmm.
You want players that are always asking and grasping for more, so it keeps raising the level more and more.
I totally agree with like that philosophy you're talking about, because at the end of the day, it's just a team sport,
Yeah,
right? It can't be, well, Shraki is your teammate in PFL. It can't be just Shraki pulling the entire team,
yeah,
right, on his back, or
yeah.
somebody other than you add Mr. Incredible to the mix, right? Hey, Placito. We'll talk about that one later on. I'll leave this to you. If you want to cut this part out, you were not. You said, of course, you want to win every time. You guys already won, but you seemed pretty upset you weren't man of the match in one of the games. I was there, right?
Yeah, of course. It was a second game against Mendiola. You can keep it.
Okay.
Um,
You know this
I
part,
was
coach?
in my mind, I had 2 goals and assist. I had 2 goals and 2 goals and a bad touch that led to MJ Libre scoring. But again, obviously, I was very happy for Juan. It's just, that hunger in me to want to prove myself to be the best player on that field every day.
Mhm.
Even if you have, Schrock on that field, I want to prove to everyone in the world that, there's more than just the two McDaniels. I'm here as well, and I'm ready to always fight and prove myself day in day out. Whether it's proving myself to my sisters, my family, to the country, it's more proving it to myself that I can do it.
And the reason why I'm obviously raising this is because we have that close professional relationship.
Yeah.
So I knew that you had the adrenaline after a game,
Yeah.
because I've been in situations like that, right? When I used to play sports growing up as a kid in high school, it takes a while for that adrenaline to get off. I will
Yeah.
say, I mean, it sucks that calling games does not burn calories, but the adrenaline is there. I get home after driving. Sometimes I'll have a meal going home, and it's still there.
Oh, I
And I
agree.
can't sleep.
I think coaching this women's team, I've come to realize, like, man, just standing on that sideline is 10 times more stressful because you can't do anything.
Hmm.
You can give them the grasp and the base of what you want to do and how to go about the game, but once the players step on the field, it's such a different game. You're just there and you're just trying to fix pieces. You can't physically step on and make a difference. So I definitely know where you're coming from in that. Like the
Yeah.
adrenaline, I'm usually exhausted after coaching. I'm more exhausted at times coaching than I am playing.
But do you have like a cool down routine after a game, or after, even after coaching?
No, not
Not
really.
really.
My routine is I always the first thing I do is I message or call my dad because I just have to know like his input because his input means the world to me. I mean, in my eyes, ever since I started playing, it's because of him, and he's always been the one that's given me the best opportunities and raised my game. So for me, it's like the privilege of I get to speak to him after to see what I wasn't doing good enough as a player or a coach to see how I can keep improving that.
Well, every athlete out there, whatever sport it may be, dad's always the first coach, right? For everyone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why it's very special to you. And we know your dad coaches a team in the house. Yeah. But coach, yeah, Finn wasn't happy with my man of the match choice once. Yeah. Finn had a lot. Still a regular.
I'm not. I'm
Still a
not.
regular customer.
Clara, I'm not a sharing man.
You won't share your racing canes.
No, I definitely won't. Not that. Never that.
I'm mentioning that, of course, because we just went to the States recently, right? I mean, it wasn't my first time to try racing canes, but yeah, good stuff, good stuff. I also had your favorite Chick-fil-A.
I don't like Chick-fil-A. You know this. I
I know
like
that.
Cane's more. They need to add one. This country loves chicken, and Cane's is literally just chicken.
They need it. They need it. Right here in the Philippines. I mean, I look for it too.
It would take. I'm telling you, it would beat KFC and Jollibee. No questions. No questions.
Like
That's my
if
opinion.
you rank them, are you
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We need to add canes into the mix though.
It's different type of chicken though.
Yeah, it is though. Chicken fingers. But well, let's get to it. I don't want to get carried away with the food talk, of course. You were a lot of siblings growing up, right? You, Chandler, Olivia, and Declan. Would it be crazy growing up because you guys will be running around in circles with a soccer ball? Your parents will be all over the place, worried you might wreck the place back home. How was that? Yeah. We were three
Um,
boys growing up. We wonder, Mom, how did you raise us? Three boys. That's pretty chaotic. People, you guys being into sports. Yeah, playing soccer, football.
I can't say I can recall Chandler and Olivia actually doing that kind of stuff in the house. Me and Declan for sure. But I remember when I was younger, we used to have this gate for our dogs, and I would always kick the ball at the gate, and Declan would do it, but to our front door. So we were always kicking the ball around, messing around. So I definitely probably broke at least something once. But it's honestly like now, like playing since we've all been playing like professionally and with the national teams, it's a fun environment. I think the thing for me is in my mind, I'm always trying to catch up to those two. And I think in their minds, it's the same, it's the other way around. They're trying to catch up to me in ways.
Hmm.
But in my mind, I mean, they've done a lot of things that I wish I could do. And I'm so blessed to have them as my siblings because they keep me very grounded and they keep me pushing harder than anyone else. So, I mean, we'll go out with my dad and train on the field. And Olivia, there's some days where everyone's good, and then there's some days where two are good and one's super angry. So
Hmm.
then the rest get angry because then it's just not fair to the others.
Yeah.
But there's also days where it's really annoying because I'll be like me and Chandler's shots are looking really good, and then Olivia will just get mad and just step out of the goal for like 10 minutes. So it's like get back in the goal. But no, it's having them as my siblings, especially Declan. Declan, I promise you will be the best McDaniel. He's
Hmm.
10 times more technical than any of us have ever been. He just needs that little drive, a different generation. But yeah, it's just so much fun being with them, especially here, being able to coach Chandler and have her input on my game as well, and being able to be there for Olivia on games. It's like it's truly a blessing. Like God has gifted us with this great opportunity, and we can only thank our parents for it.
Fantastic stuff. But with this, of course, in my memory, we have another sibling tandem, like where one would have caps for the men's team, the other would have caps for the women's team. Can't recall any, actually. Well, people, of course, who are tuning in, you can just put in the comment section. Do we have any sibling tandems right there who play for the women's team and the men's team for the Philippines? None that I could think of. A close one I remember. There's Serena Bolden. Then she also has a
Cameron,
brother.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Cam didn't get called up though, but
Cam never got a passport. Is Yeah, he's
no
still.
passport.
I don't know if I don't. I still think he's struggling to get it, but I don't know.
But yeah, I think you guys might be the only tandem right there to be able to play for the senior national teams of the Philippines. It's quite a feat, sibling goals, like I was telling you about it. But yeah, let's get with it also. Stefan Schrock was added mid-season to the Stallion team that's already stacked with talent. How did he change the dynamic of the team, or did he blend in like a chameleon?
To be honest, the whole situation with Schrock is just looking at it's funny. To be honest with you, growing up when I first came for SEA Games, I remember this vividly all the time, and I told him about it like literally like 2 days ago. Is I was originally supposed to room with him in SEA Games 2019. And all the guys like, and I was from the US. It was my first time ever coming here. I didn't
Yeah.
know much about it. Like it was more the first time I ever got my feet into the Philippine football scene. And they're like, "You're rooming with Stefan Schrock." And I'm like, and I'm just a kid, like an 18-year-old. I'm like, "Who's that?"
bro.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I know, I
I
know.
didn't know who he was. I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
And then I got the info. I was like, oh, okay, nice. He's like the captain of the Philippines. That's good. That's cool. And ever since then, it's just like he's just in my eyes just a very good player. Playing against him, I could tell you one thing: I always hated playing against him because he's a serial winner as well. He loves to win. He loves to get in people's heads. He will do anything to win. So I remember we were doing our scouting and said like, what do we need? We need more Filipinos. And we're watching a game. We're watching our 3-3 game last season against Taguig where um, I scored one, assisted one, and then Junior Sam scored one, and Patrick Grog scored two, and
Mhm.
some other player got one as well. And we're watching the game, and we're like watching the game, and like, man, Schrock is all over the place. We're like, yeah, he's. I'm like, it's Schrock. What do you expect? And then I just looked at my dad and said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we just tried to get him out of retirement? And then all of a sudden we went for it, and it was back and forth, and then he ended up coming. So I think for me at first, I was always against him. Even with the national team, the appearances I made, he was never there. So going with him, I didn't know what to expect, but I mean, he's just a class act. He blended in perfectly. He brought up competition. He always asked for more of the players. About the same time, he also was there for players.
Mhm.
He's a very good professional. He's a very good person and very good friend. And this season specifically, I've become very, very close with him, and he's been a big role model to me.
I remember years back, I did drop by to watch a home game of LA Galaxy, and then there's three statues, right? Landon Donovan, Robbie Keane, David Beckham, and you were telling me, said Landon Donovan in particular, someone you really looked up to
Yeah.
growing up, right? I think the Galaxy.
Yep.
That's a team you would support growing up.
Yeah.
How was if you had Landon Donovan, we had Stefan Schrock. Like
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
growing up here in Manila, we'd really well for us. We made it a point. Hey, Schrock's gonna play. We're gonna go. We're gonna make sure we watch.
Yeah.
And we're bummed out when we hear, oh, Schrocky wasn't called up because he's injured. He had that stretch where he was getting some injuries too.
Yeah.
And of course, he'd have to fly all the way from Germany, right? So sometimes no point in flying all the way to Asia. So yeah, that was Stefan Schrock to us.
Yeah. He's an iconic player. He's got his career, his resumes. I mean, it's a dream of mine to be able to play the way he's played, and the fact that he's his age and he can still play at this level and be always one of the best players on the field. I mean, I still think to this day his game is growing. He's just such a talented player, and again, he's helped me a lot in my game in terms of confidence and other stuff. But um, there's one thing he said to me that has stuck to me, and it wasn't like input or anything. It was just a compliment, and to this day, like since he said it this season, I hold it true and dear, and it's the first thing I'll brag about now in my career. Is he said to me, like shooting, we're doing a shooting session, and he turns and looks at me and he says like Finn, like you need to shoot more often, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm the striker, and he's like, no, 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 he's like, you don't understand. He's like, in my entire career, I've seen maybe 10 players hit the ball like you do. He's like 10. He's like, and one of them's Kevin De Bruyne. So when he said that to me, like that I'm capable of shooting like Kevin De Bruyne, which he played against when he was in Bundesliga. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a tribute to how the hard work that my dad put on my shot. So I always remind him when we're at practice, like, hey, hey, no need to shoot. You're not good at shooting anyways. Just give me the ball.
Man, but to be fair, right? We've acknowledged that when there's a free kick from distance, scoring range, we call it Finn McDaniel range when your team's playing.
Yeah, it was hard this
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
I was getting yelled at a lot. I'd get halftime phone calls saying, "Why aren't you taking the free kicks?" And it's because I also have Super Mark Hartman, who was also at one point one of the best free kick takers in this
Hmm.
country. So it was a fun season. I think I got to play with players I've wanted to play with for a long time. Schrock is obviously every Filipino wants to play with him. But for me, a player I always wanted to play with since I've seen him is Mark Hartman. I think Mark Hartman's IQ of the game is so high, and he makes the game look slow. He makes it look it's fluent, it's flawless. Like everything he does, like there's a certain finesse to it. So watching and playing with him is fun. I know at times Schrock would get mad at him because he's not much of a workhorse like Schrock is, but always a fun player to play and practice with because his just precision is insane.
Right. I remember you talking about it also when I got to
Yep.
interview after a game, because the way Mark would just distribute the ball, his technique,
Yeah.
I mean, just makes it look easy.
Yeah.
It just stands out from pretty much everybody in the field. Hence, Mark Hartman,
Yeah.
one of those guys in distributing the ball. So those some of the influential players, of course,
Yeah.
you played with. Would there be anyone like even from your previous teams, or it's pretty much those guys? Yeah.
Um, I think there's a lot of great players I played with. I think hands down one of the best players I've played with still to this day is Mr. Incredible Abraham Placido. I mean, the fact that he can alternate from going to center back and being one of the best center backs in the league to going into a six role for Schrock and
Right.
last season being a 10 and getting 10 assists and his first time playing the 10 is it's it's unheard of. And
Hmm.
he's always his heart's on his he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's always ready to die when he's on that field and he'll do anything for his team. And he takes a lot of attack from our team at times, whether it's because he's holding players to a higher standard or he's just defending his own team on that field. He's honestly my best friend. I've been with him since college, and he's just an amazing player. But for me, the two top players I played with in my career as of now, one, you got to say Stefan Schrock, of course.
Yeah.
But for me, the other player that I truly dearly miss so much is last season, our six, Adrian Sirigliano. I swear to
Hmm.
you, and Schrock's gonna kill me for saying this. I've said it to him. He keeps trying to tell me to get him back for Stallion, but I'm gonna say it. I'm that guy's first touch, his everything, his career is impeccable. And he played with a cracked rib that season and still
No
played.
way.
Yeah. He was just silenced, never said anything, just did his job. I remember there was a game we played Maharlika I think it was Maharlika, and he came in the field and a player dribbled at him and he slid. And immediately as he slid, he got up and just backheeled it through the same player and megged him. And I was like, dude, this guy's ridiculous. Like, he's a machine. So I remember that game. He literally was dealing with Kevin Ingresso and Stefan Schrock when we played once a gig and made it look like it was just a normal game instead of them being, oh my gosh, it's Schrock and Ingresso going against this one guy. It was one guy was handling Schrock and Ingresso. And they're both gonna kill me for saying that because I'm in contact with both of them all the time.
Yeah. Two friends of yours, of
But
course.
again, it's all just banter with
Yeah.
Schrock.
We're pretty hyped when Sirigliano was signed up by you guys. He casually nutmeg people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Coach, can you bring him back? he, he was a joy to watch,
he was
Sirigliano.
he
Oh, man.
everything about his game was insane, incredible. His first touch is impeccable. He could find his 10 like no other. He made Abe's job so easy that season.
Hmm.
He's so good and ball winner. And you saw, I mean, he is massive. He is not in terms of height. The guy was a literal bodybuilder. Like, I don't know how he could have all that muscle and still be able to cover the distance he covered. But again, like his dribbling and everything it was out of this world to me.
Argentinian,
Yeah,
Sirigliano.
I
They
mean,
just have it.
he was a Copa Libertadores champs with River Plate, played in the MLS with FC Dallas, and then played Hellas Verona in First Division Italy against like Kaká and Ronaldinho. So,
Man.
and was able to play against Neymar back in the day and when he was in the youth for Argentina.
Argentina. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a record. That's a record resume right there.
I remember that PFL season 2 seasons ago, where everyone was just so hyped with the talent being brought in by Stallion and all the other teams, of course.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a memorable season for me. That was the season where I finally took the leap and became a striker. Became the nine.
Hmm.
And ever since then, I've been getting double digits, so it was fun. Definitely more fun scoring than just going back and forth, just staying up top and doing my job.
Yep. I get you, of course. You guys want to do your job. Shooters shoot, as they say. So if there's Mr. Incredible, well, I remember there's the press con. You and your dad we're still home in the States. And Coach Ernie introduced Abe as Mr. Incredible. He goes, I'm not the one who named him. Clara was, so that was a compliment. Coach Ernie was taking the nickname. So if there's Abe, where the rest of the Incredibles in Stallion? I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, we could. Yeah, don't worry. I just wanted to mess with you there. But yeah, we could suppose another PFL season, right? Um, how do you see things going for you? I mean, no vacation going back home to the States. That's where you grew up. You're handling the women's team, so it's an off season, but it's not for you. But you're still getting your rest for PFL, I assume. What's next?
To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I don't really when I go home, it's actually more work. It's not actually I don't really take a off season. My off season is the downtime before I go home because I get home and me and my dad get straight back to work. It's a very strict schedule we go to. I wake up, go work out from like 6 to 9 a.m. Usually I'll go to physical therapy right there and get the strengthening in the legs. Go to the office and do some work at our family company, all while also doing our scouting for the next seasons usually, and then training after, and again probably lifting weights, and then just starting that cycle over and over. But I enjoy the work. I don't like just being lazy. I've never liked that. I can't do it. But um, to be honest with you, as for the season goes, um, this was probably my last season for Stallion.
Mm.
So exploring some options, and then some things will get finalized. But I love this club to death. This club has given me everything. I think the reason I'm here is always because it starts with Coach Ernie getting me a chance with the national team for SEA Games. And again, just that loyalty he's shown my family throughout the years with the women's national team and getting Chandler and Olivia on there. So this club means so much to me and my family. And even if I'm not here for the season, I'll always be supporting. I'll be helping the club in any way I can. The family's still going to be involved. It's just, I think for me, it's time to take that next step into my future and pursue a career I want to pursue.
Man, that's getting me right there. But with the details of you did say that's being ironed out, right? So
Yes.
we'll wait for announcements, of course, whether that will be on your page or elsewhere online, right?
Yeah.
Man. But with that, any timeline or you just sticking it out with the women's team, just being the coach and general manager? Yeah.
Yeah, just finishing out probably honestly, based upon how quickly we finish up at some things here for where I go in the future. I could be gone after this Makati game, and Shraki will take over the women's with our other coach, Coach Neil, and Coach Juan Galliana for the men's team as well, who's always
Mhm.
there. Who's also my number one. I've known him since I was like 9 years old. He's my partner in crime. Him and Abe. That's your
That's pretty good.
Incredibles trio.
Oh, there you
I
go.
got to find the other two, but those two are my ride or dies. So,
Uh-huh.
but again, yeah, probably getting close to departing the country soon. And again, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that this club has given me everything. And there was never a moment in my career where I wasn't happy at Stallion. And you can never see me at another club. Even if I was to come back to the Philippines to play, it's only for this club. I could never put on a jersey from another team.
Mhm.
They don't mean anything to me. This My heart and soul belongs to Stallion at the end of the day. It always will. This club means too much to me.
Man, getting me right there. Well, with you talking about the club, if we look at it the family perspective, there was about 1 or 2 calendar years Chandler and Olivia were playing overseas. That's outside of the Philippines, outside of the USA, and then you were here. And then right after, there were about 2 years. You guys were just, you know, the family was together, right? That
Yeah.
must have been special.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, after last season, the 2 seasons ago, I was contemplating taking the next steps in my career, but once I heard that the women's league was starting and Chandler and Olivia wanted to come, and I figured some things are more important than that. And I don't think there's ever going to be a time in my life where I had the opportunity to be in a full family establishment of a career with Stallion and Coach Ernie, and of course my dad, who's one of the owners and head coaches with Ernie. There was no other time perfect than that. So I think for me, my family means everything and loyalty, and to be able to be with Chandler and Olivia once in my career as three professionals playing for the same club is something that
Hmm.
not a lot of siblings or family will ever have. So to be able to do that this season with them and part of last season, it meant the world to me. And I'm so grateful to be able to play with them and see them every day and go around about the days and just be just us three.
Now, of course, what comes with your two sisters, there's your parents, and then your youngest brother Declan. So I know your brother would visit also from time to time,
Yeah.
right? He's been able to immerse Metro Manila, you could say, or the Philippines, because
He's
you guys would also travel around.
he's traversed
Yeah.
Shake Shack a lot. That's about it. Shake Shack, Bignon, and Rizal are his main three.
Okay, okay. Gotcha. Right there. Um, I'll just backtrack a bit also with you mentioning that, right? Um, you as a family and some friends did go to Boracay, spend some good time together, right?
That was actually,
Yeah.
I've been to Cebu for playing, but that was actually the first ever time I've ever vacationed in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I usually I usually go, play, and then I'm out. I don't ever vacation. So that was a first for me, and it's nice to see the country more than just, Metro Manila and to see the beauty of how amazing our country that gives us all these opportunities is.
Fantastic. But I gotta ask one question. With the way you felt, you've been playing, right? You feel good, nonetheless. 1-1, you and your dad. Who's gonna win?
Depends on what scenario, what aspect. He's actually a defender. It's funny. He's a defender.
I
Olivia's the
recall.
goalkeeper, and then me and Chandler forwards, and Declan's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
So in a 1v1, uh, could go either way. He might try to kick my butt. So he's I get the competitiveness from him. He won't let me beat him. There's no I'll beat him in my mind, but he'll say otherwise. We were just talking about this at lunch where
Perfect.
we were just no, but it was more of a racing situation because he thinks he's so fast and I think the country. I don't know. I feel I'm one of the fastest players in the league. Maybe not this season because Manila Digger had probably the most fit team I've ever seen in my entire
Oh
life.
yeah, they were super. They
But
were superheroes.
I think I think I'm one of the fastest players in the league, regardless. So whenever he says he's faster than me, I always have to tell him like your years are behind you, man. It's like it's time to accept the facts.
Remember, I did the math. Pretty much the speed of a tricycle. But if a tricycle slows down for a speed bump, that's where you could overtake it.
I could beat the trike. It just depends on where the trike is at.
Yes, yes.
If it's Bignon, no problem. If it's anywhere else, we'll have to see. We'll have
There's
to.
there's speed bumps around in Binyan. So okay, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up this conversation. I'm pretty much shell shocked. Threw me off my rhythm, but I want to give you the floor, of course. Stallion fans, McDaniel family fans, or supporters of Philippine football, you name them. You want to give them a message? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first off, first and foremost, make sure you go and support the women's team tonight as my two sisters in the Filipinas take on Chinese Taipei. Hope to see you guys there. But at the same time, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everything you guys have given me as a fan base and as a footballing community. I think being able to meet Clara was a big step for me. Way back when we first did our podcast, it made me feel very special because Clara was the first person that ever truly gave me recognition that I feel. So it goes a long way. And again, um, to the Stallion family, I just again want to say thank you for everything. You guys have given me everything. I wouldn't be in my position if I didn't have this club and Coach Ernie and my dad and all the other players and staff. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and I'll always be a Stallion player.
Man, fantastic stuff. Yeah, we're recording this actually on June 3, so this is the afternoon before the Filipinas game versus Chinese Taipei in Rizal Memorial. But yeah, before we wrap up, Coach, do you want to go say hi to the camera? Thank you, to Coach Clint, of course, and Finn and family for having us here at their fantastic place. Yeah, this is where we are able to record. Just Coach in the camera. Yeah. You want
Oh,
to say hello or
Oh,
something,
right.
Coach? Yeah, here's a mic.
No, I think yeah, no, we appreciate all the support for the kids and for the teams. You had asked a question about Stallion team this season, the men's, and I think the biggest thing on that is two different mentalities. A lot of talent, but two different mentalities. So that'll be our thrust coming up is trying to get one mentality, wanting to fight a little harder on the field. But yeah, Shock's going to be taking a bigger role, sticking around. So we're excited about that. I'm working well with him. Finn will be probably off this year to go explore and see what he can do, and the girls will be moving to AFC, so it should be exciting.
Yeah, especially with that overseas, right? The men's got to play in AFC
Yeah,
sometime back also. Now it's gonna be the girls.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we'll be looking to bolster up, adding some players to both rosters. So if you're interested, make sure you send something our way.
All right. So may I, coach? Yeah, that's it for this one. A big thank you. This is Clara Manzano, your host. Finn McDaniel, of course, center, and then his brother, I mean father, Clint McDaniel, right here on the other side. But we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks for tuning into the Echo Week podcast. Bye bye, guys. Thanks so much, Finn. Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Cleo.
it was a blast.